Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to, it's going to be another informative, exciting, relevant edition of Pick Your Politics. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. We've got a wonderful show for you today with a friend of mine who is a good guy, very interesting background, and he's been on the show before several months ago, and you might hopefully be very familiar with his name. Alan Bigelow was the Republican candidate for state assembly representing District 5. Alan is a longtime resident of Nevada. I read where you moved here when, 8 weeks or 8 months old?
8 months.
8
months old, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a lifer.
Oh, yeah. Spring of 63.
No doubt about it. Alan served in our military for 6 years of active service after being trained in the field of emergency services, which enabled Alan to work as a deputy sheriff and then transitioning to the fire service, where he's still at. Alan strongly believes in living debt-free. Who doesn't? Right. As much as possible, and keeping a budget, which is kind of hard these days, Alan, with inflation and
harder
everything.
And harder, especially with the the Biden economic programs we're in. It's gone to the point where a candy bar costs you what a carton of eggs used to cost you, and a carton of eggs is costing you what a gallon of gas cost you.
Yeah,
it's just out of control.
It is out of control. It is out of control. Let me ask you this: you have run for elected office before. So what made you run for this particular office? What was your motivation?
I've been involved with the political machine for almost 20 years in different campaigns, different capacities. And this time I was actually encouraged by several groups to step up for the assembly. They believed in my vision. They believed in what I could do, and knew that, I would run and be ethically correct and keep my integrity throughout the process of it, which I did. We ran on issues only. For example, we pushed for education reform,
right,
and school choice, and I still believe in that. And I'm still going to actively, participate in those kind of things, going to the school boards and having conversations with those guys, making it possible for small business to succeed here,
right,
and doing programs that would help them to grow and be positive in that, and criminal justice reform, some very specific things. I never ever will run on rumors, lies, or half-truths, and unfortunately that's where a lot of these candidates are doing in order to get rid of the actual really truly talented candidates, and they succeed in a lot of cases.
You're absolutely right. All right, tell us about District 5, which you would represent.
Well, District 5 was actually readjusted in the last census, and so it changed its direction quite a bit and encompassed a lot more people that are more just the average Joe, and you've got to take time to address those issues. You can't sit there and say, what? Eggs are now $8 a carton, and you have to pay for it. Well, we got to do something. We got to step up somehow, and we got to make sure that we get the right people in there that are going to fight that fight. And something you didn't mention is I actually continued my service with the National Guard here in Nevada for another 18 years. So I served for 24 years.
You're right. I was neglecting that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's something that's important because I've served the people of Nevada. I've stepped up for the people of Nevada for decades now, and I've been that fighter for so many years.
Yeah, you have.
So just because I didn't win a primary doesn't mean I'm going to stop fighting. It means that I have another direction to go, and those doors are opening now, and I can't really go into them because they're just starting to open.
Yeah.
And once they open up more, I'm sure, we'll flesh it out some more.
That's exciting.
It really is, and I'm excited for the opportunities. The potential is unbelievably amazing because you can do work to support the people that's not necessarily as an elected official.
Right.
The assemblywoman that's in this seat right now is bragging that it's her 5th term. and she's probably going to win it. The numbers for her opponent just don't stack up because the district is a +6, almost 7 Democrat district. And when you look at those numbers, just two things in combination, the numbers and your placement on the ballot. If you're not the first person on the ballot, you're already at a -10 points.
Wow.
So
That's hard.
the person that has successfully made that transition to the general now has a 17-point deficit, and you can't make that up.
That's
It's
very
unfortunate, especially with the low voter turnout that we just
Right.
saw in the
Exactly.
primaries. You're just
Exactly.
not going to do it. And so, the presumptive win is actually for the Democrats right now, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Alan, when you and your team were knocking on doors, what were you mostly hearing about the concerns of the people in District 5?
A lot of it was public safety, and a lot of it was schools. People were pulling their kids out of the schools because of the programs that are involved. They don't like the transgendered agenda. They don't like the fact that if you go to the library, you can check out a book that if you or I had it on our counter at home, it would be considered child porn. These things are upsetting the parents, and they should.
And rightly so.
They should, The crime is unbelievable. People's cars are being broke into. We have to do the things to support our law enforcement, support our first responders, so that our people are safe. Because
Right.
people are putting up gates
Yeah.
in neighborhoods that you never ever would think that they would put iron
Right.
gates on their doors.
You're right.
And every time we'd go knocking, you'd see one after another, after another, after another. And it was the consistency of that fear that is really plaguing the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, very, very true. Do you think that, and like a lot of major cities in the country, and Las Vegas is no exception, that the homeless problem that we are starting to encounter has something to do with that, with public safety and crime? And
Las Vegas is very much a mixed pot in that. And the reason I said is because the city of Las Vegas actually has some really good programs to where they help the homeless.
yes,
They have to be identified first.
right,
You have to make a couple of phone calls, and then it's up to that homeless person whether they get help or not.
right.
So some
Whether
want
they
help,
want it, whether
some
they
don't.
want that help, yeah.
Some of the folks don't want the help because they
Right.
don't want the rules that go with it.
Correct.
For example, if you get taken to a shelter, you can't have, a cold beer while you're there, which, this is just an example. It's not everybody's thing. They can't have a cold beer. And so they don't want to go because they want to have a cold beer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it, but it's just the rule for the shelter. And they can get a lot of help, with the Corridor of Help, or Corridor of Hope, rather, which is one of the Las Vegas programs. The county is a different situation because District 5 is a split district. It's half in the county, half in the city. And that was part of the redistricting that went in the last census. But it doesn't. The county and the city, the county's programs are just not as definitive as the cities are. And the cities worked hard to do that. And so I have to give a lot of credit to people like Victoria Seaman, who's our city councilwoman, who has pushed for these things. The mayor, she has pushed for these things. I give those people credit for what they've done. It's hard work. It's hard to stand up for your constituents and say, look, we need this.
Yeah, and it just shows that you could throw all the money you want at a problem. Doesn't mean you're going to dent it or or solve it. And particularly with the homeless populations, there's so many things that you can do.
And there's a lot of people that do want help, and there's families that need that help. And the help is there. Getting it to them is the challenge, not because it's not and not able to get to them. It's the lack of staffing to get to them, and the lack of
Correct.
But it builds. It snowballs when one person hears about it, then another person hears about it, and if they're living in the tunnels, that's a whole nother community because they have their whole other hierarchy.
Exactly.
Information does get around. It just takes time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Alan Bigelow is our special guest here on this edition of Pick Your Politics. Alan, what do you think are the most important issues facing not only Las Vegas and Southern Nevada, but all of Nevada?
All of Nevada is a challenge to even answer that one because we have some very, very different demographics as you go through the state. And I've been fortunate to travel with a lot of people that have been in, running for federal office or other offices around the area. For example, Las Vegas, Reno, Carson City, very, very, cityfied, very urban, and very, not urban, but very, very metropolitan.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get away from us, you go out to somewhere like Logandale. Logandale's an urban community. You go out to Ely, you go out to Pioche, you go out to Hawthorne, all very, very different worlds, and so picking one thing in those areas is very difficult.
Right.
One that does carry through all of them, of course, is the economy. When the Bidenomics have gone the way they've gone, we now need at least another $1,000 a month to make the same lifestyle that we had 2 years ago. What can we do at the local level? Well, our governor, he tried to put a freeze on a couple of taxes, but the Democrats got after him and didn't let it happen.
Yeah.
Can we elect the right people? Yeah, we got some strong conservative candidates out there going for Congress, going for the United States Senate, and we've got to get these people out there. We've got to turn out the vote.
Yeah.
Because if not, we're going to be stuck with Susie Lee and Cortez Masto and Dina Titus and Steve Yeager in the Nevada House. So these kind of people. But those are the people that cause the problems. Those are the people that continue to line their own pockets. Those are the people like Tick Seegerbloom, a county commissioner, is under an ethics investigation right now because he received a ticket from the Formula One race that was worth $10,000, and they called it an educational opportunity.
Wow.
And I'm like, how is a car race educational? If you want to see it, just watch television.
Yeah. Just watch TV.
A $10,000 free ticket?
Ooh.
I wish. I tried to get a ticket. I sat on the website because I'm a car guy. I wanted to go. I was here in the 80s when we had the first Formula One race. It didn't cause the problems that this one has, but, the ticket was $1,200. I had my credit card ready. I sat there. As soon as the clock ticked, I hit that button, and it was sold out.
Yeah.
And I was
amazing.
like, it's been a millisecond, and it's sold out. So I couldn't go. But, our commissioners get a check for a ticket for $10,000. Here you go. Here's a nice box seat. Come watch.
And it's amazing now, to me anyway, kind of the pushback that Formula One got here after it left.
Right.
A lot of unhappy people, locals.
And I have to honestly say that they're right. Their businesses were not taken into account.
Yeah.
Their businesses were very specifically segregated and
they were
pushed
damaged.
aside, and they were hurting, and they've adjusted from what I'm seeing in the reports to some of it. I don't know if it's going to be as effective as they hope, but I would hope they would take into account in this next race that those businesses have been here a lot longer, and they deserve some kind of support.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. They need to exist. They create jobs.
Absolutely.
And when you create, and that's what people don't understand, the metrics of job creation. When you get one job created, you just created a dynamic that flows for 7 levels, and that one job will end up turning into, it can be 50 jobs or more, because one job has to have somebody to do the payroll. So there's another job.
Right.
You got to have somebody to build the office that the payroll person's in.
Right.
There's a couple more jobs, and it just geometrically expands. So losing
Good point.
businesses raises our taxes. We
Very
can't
good
continue
point.
to do that. So we have to take care of these guys.
Very, very good point. Do you think the Nevada legislature should meet yearly instead of every other year?
I've seen where actually that could be a positive. We continue to wonder why budgets and things are screwed up. And I know there are committees that are involved with that meet a little more regularly, but we have state senators that are basically full-time employed. That's their job for their term. Our assembly people are part-time. They're up there for basically 4 months
Right.
every other year.
Right.
Well, the dynamics of everything changes year to year to year, and sometimes month to month. So do we need to have them accessible in that time? Yeah, they are if you call them back.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily
Special session,
Yeah, special
yeah.
sessions. Let's pay for a special session.
Yeah.
There's a financial side to it as well that can be very daunting. But I think in a lot of ways, we need to make sure that our legislators are accessible to us. And
Absolutely.
That's,
Good point.
I've always put my phone number out to people. Anytime I've spoke, here's my number. Call me. I don't know all the answers. Let's figure it out. If I don't know the answers, I'm happy to figure out
get it.
something or go
Yeah.
get it or go find somebody.
Yeah.
Somewhere we're able to do something. If it's nothing but a referral to somebody else that you happen to know, and it just happened recently. A gal came up to me at an event and said, "Hey, listen, I do this kind of work, and I'm not going to, but I need to get in with one of the agencies." Well, I happen to know the head of that agency. So I was like, "Listen, let me go introduce you. What you guys do, you guys do. I'm not involved in it. All I'm going to do is make the introduction.
Right.
You guys hit it off. You guys can do something. God bless." So I made the introduction, and I haven't heard anything back from them on that. They just recently asked me about another organization that I have no information on, but I knew somebody that they could go talk to. So I said, go talk to this person. I don't know anything about it, but go talk to that person. So being involved has allowed me to assist in facilitating a lot of different things, which is good, and which is essentially the reasons why I want to be involved. I got involved in this because it's not about me. It's never been about me. It's always about everybody else. It's about our next generation and the generation to follow. We have a duty. We have a sacred duty to protect our children and our grandchildren. I've got 4 generations in this valley now.
Wow, really? That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, we've been here a couple days, like you said.
That's
So
impressive.
being 4 generations deep now, we have a dog in this fight. I have grandchildren here that need a future. I have grandchildren that need a school district that teaches them enough that they can be globally successful.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you literally have a dog in the fight because you have a dog. You're a dog lover like I am.
Yeah.
And
We actually got another dog.
did you?
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thanks.
Yeah.
So we have 3 now.
That's awesome.
We have the Doodle, which you know
Yeah.
about, and then we have a Doggy de Bordeaux, which is a French Mastiff, and he's a whole 100 pounds right now.
Wow.
Still growing.
Wow.
And then we have a little Chiweenie. She's
adorable.
I think she actually walked the path with Jesus because she's that old. But just kidding, just kidding. She is as spry as the other
they're all
2,
great.
and
That's great.
she's 15 years old right now. So
Dogs
she is.
are wonderful. Okay, like they'll say, they're better than people, and in a number of ways. That's what every dog owner will tell you. You know what? And there's some modicum of truth in that. If you had your way, if you got king for the day, so to speak,
Okay.
what would you change or add to or flip around, whatever, as far as making our school district better? Because as you know, the school district here is just getting pounded month after month after month. And who suffers for it?
Our kids.
It's the kids. Not the teachers, not the superintendent. He's going anyway. But what would you do?
I'd start with reinforcing the fact that we need to take the Pledge of Allegiance and start each day with it.
I'm down for that.
I just saw that, it was Georgia or Alabama, I don't remember which one, just put a law into effect, or maybe it was Louisiana, put a law into effect that said the 10 Commandments are going to be posted in every classroom.
Okay.
I'm not pushing religion on that one, but it is a good set of rules to follow. It's a good set of rules to teach children.
Yeah.
And as a Christian, I do my best to follow. I mean, nobody's perfect, but you see things on the wall that influence your thoughts.
Right.
You know, and instead of putting LGBTQ, and I don't know the rest of the alphabet that goes into there, but, you know, those flags don't have any business in a classroom.
Yeah.
If a child needs to discuss their anatomy with someone, it needs to be their parents, not a school teacher.
Right.
If a child comes to a school currently and says, I need to go have an abortion, the parents don't get a notice.
Yeah.
Well, what happens when that child goes home that night and is laying on the kitchen floor bleeding? And they call the ambulance, and the ambulance goes, what happened? Well, I don't know. Well, the next phone call of the ambulance crew is duty bound by law is to report a possible abuse. Now you got Child Protective Services coming in and going, hey, what's going on?
Right.
I don't know. And why don't you know? You're the parent.
Don't you talk to your kids?
Yeah, don't your kids tell you what? I don't know. They went to school, they came back, and now you got to go back to the school. Well, hey, school, what happened? Well, we can't tell you because you're not the parent. Well,
Wow.
wait a minute. Now we're taking parents' rights.
Yeah.
And I've been to the school district, and I've gotten up and told them, stop taking parents' rights. It's not the thing you should do. It's not what you're mandated by the NRS to do. These inclusive programs that are in place are not the way to go. I don't ever want to ever see anybody ostracized or shamed or anything for who they are. That's wrong on every level.
Right. I
But
agree.
those are discussions for parents. Those are discussions
Totally.
with a counselor and a parent.
Totally.
Those are not discussions with a teacher pushing an agenda.
Yeah, totally. And that's all you see on TV now is what's going on with, you know, the males now wanting to participate in female sports,
Right.
and that's crazy.
And records are being broken that should
Yeah.
never have been broken because they're biologically male.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
they're going against the females. You know what I mean? Can you imagine, and this is a great illustration, can you imagine Mike Tyson walking into the ring and saying, I'm a girl and I'm gonna fight the girls at the UFC ring. Are you kidding me? The guy weighs, what, 240 pounds, and
he's a
he's going
big
to go
dude.
against a
Big, strong
girl that
dude.
weighs 150 pounds?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God, it's just ludicrous, is all you can say, and how people could put up with it is just beyond me. What would be the biggest differences between you and what were the opponents in this race? What do you bring to the table that they don't?
One of the things that I have is actually street time and a dog in the fight, like I mentioned. My kids are here. You know, my grandkids are here. My parents were teachers, and so I know the fight. I know those people. I've been around them all my life. You know, I believe in budgets. I've managed budgets of more than $300 million.
Wow.
Part of my duties in the military.
Wow.
You know, if I had blown the budget, my commander would have essentially rode me out of town on a rail, because it was my job to manage, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of different
Yeah.
areas,
Yeah.
whether it was, you know, it's a maintenance fund, it was personnel issues, whatever the case was. I ended up getting an accommodation certificate, actually, from the United States Senate because I did what I was supposed to do, and I did it very well. So I have a background in this kind of management. I have the background in leadership. I've taught leadership. I've sent young men and women to war. When you have to take the time to counsel those guys and say, look, this is what is, you know, I go to people's living rooms as a firefighter every day. I see the problems firsthand. I understand. I see. I hear their cries and tears. I have quite a few solutions for that.
Yeah,
You know,
you do.
but at this point, it's in somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to continue to go to the school district. I'm going to continue to be active as a political activist and standing up for our children, and standing up for our people, and standing up for criminal justice reform, and standing up for, you know, voter integrity and vetting candidates that tell the truth and not half truth and lies and rumors.
Yeah.
And we're gonna ferret these people out. we're going to tell the people, and it doesn't matter
Have
which
to.
side of the fence they're on. If
Have
they're
to.
on a Democrat and they're
Yeah,
telling a
you
bunch
have
of
to.
stories, we're going to call them and hold them accountable. We're going to hold the Republicans just as accountable, because that's the duty of people. That's the reason why we vote. And we
That's
vote
right.
for the best people to be in office.
That's right.
You know, this office is being elected has never been something that should be a career. It's
Yeah.
always been something where you go, do a term or two, and you get out of there. Like your butt's on fire, you leave. You know, because you should not be there for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, 5, 6 terms,
That
that's
gets old.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that gets old.
Ridiculous, and there's no reason for it.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
your brain becomes addled. You have to deal with lobbyists in
Yeah.
a lot of cases, and those lobbyists know more than you do usually.
Yeah.
And so you end up having to say, look, I'll do whatever you tell me. That's not what your job is to do. Your
No.
job is to discern the truth, represent the people,
Right.
and be just in your decisions.
Right.
It's really simple.
You got to be confident about
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing. What kind of job do you think Governor Lombardo is doing? And I know you know the governor.
I personally like him. He and I are both kind of, you know, we do off-road stuff. Where, you know, he's an off-road racer.
No,
and
he loves it.
I'm a camping and off-road
Yeah.
enthusiast. I'm building a couple cars right now.
Oh, great.
You know, we have four-wheel drive vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of work. I know that he has fought hard to get simple programs pushed, and he had to make some compromise in this last
Yeah.
session.
That's why they need to get a majority, folks, so
Right.
they get some good stuff passed.
Exactly, and that was the fight. That was the
Yeah.
fight this last time. He's got some good candidates coming up to support that
Yeah.
he endorsed.
Yeah.
I think probably at least half of them will make it through. Mm-hmm. Maybe I hope all of them. You know, I hope all of them, because that would give him an amazing,
Oh,
amazing opportunity to do
absolutely.
some really good stuff for Nevada. You know, we continue to see the
Absolutely.
established politicians
Yeah.
politicians losing endorsements. You know, we saw the Nevada House Speaker lose the culinary union, as well as the state Senate. You know, we've seen them both lose endorsements left and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah.
you know, we need to get the people up there. We need to get up there and help the
He
governor
did
and get
endorse some
things
good
done.
people, and we've had them all on the show here because that's how this emanated. He contacted me and said, you know, would you do this? And I said, absolutely, I would.
Yeah.
Something to help you, Governor? Absolutely, yeah. He's a good guy. Stavros, our lieutenant governor, is a
amazing,
great
you know.
guy.
I think we've got a great future
Yeah,
with
I do
those two
too.
guys.
I do too.
You know, Andy is our
Yep.
controller, amazing guy, worked through the ranks, and he's been there. He's done the job. And
Yeah.
they've all earned those positions. There's no doubt of that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. All right. What is? I know you can't. You mentioned you can't say about it, but I'm sure we'll hear about it when you can. What's in the immediate future for you besides continuing to work and kick back a little
Well,
bit? I know you want to stay
yeah.
in the fight, so to speak.
We're going to stay in the fight. We're going to do some activist kind of things
Mm-hmm.
to help and push and educate some voters. We are definitely on Plan B right now, which is we have a couple business opportunities we're working through the details of, and so those will be coming up.
Nice.
I'm encouraged by what we're seeing. We're having doors open that were not open before. And I appreciate all of that, you know, and the fact is
Yeah.
it's God moving through these people. It's not me,
Yeah.
you know, and it's the opportunities that we get presented. So
That's great.
We are responsibly doing our due diligence to make sure that things are happening
That's great.
as they should.
That's great, and you deserve it. What's the best part about being a firefighter?
Oh gosh, it's just been an honor to help people. You know, I'm close to retirement, and it's been a blessing to be where I am and help the people that I've helped. I can go through hundreds of stories. I've been encouraged to write a book about it. I don't know if I will or not, because
Yeah,
some of the
you should.
details may be a little gross, but being able to help the people that I've helped has been my honor, and their lives have absolutely been worth it.
No, you should. That's fantastic. Well, I'm sure your friends and people that know you want to thank you for your service, both in the military and in law enforcement and in the world of fire. And because that's a tough job. I mean, all of it is. But anyway, Thank you for coming on.
It's always a pleasure.
It's
Thank
been
you.
fantastic. Anything we can do to help you in your future endeavors, please do not hesitate.
I definitely want to thank all the supporters. A lot of people put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
We didn't win this one, but that doesn't mean we're quitting.
that's right. No, and then that's a good.
Thank you so much, everyone.
That is a good message for everybody, and it's getting down to the wire. November, General's going to be here. It's going to be over, and I think a lot of things are going to change. Absolutely. So remember what I say every show. You may not agree. Vet the candidate, but the most important thing is you got to get out and vote. Don't complain. You got to do something. You got to get up and you got to get out and vote. That's the most important thing if you want to see change. So anyway, for Alan, I'm Dennis Silvers, and another edition of Pick Your Politics. We will see you back same time, same place next week. So until then, enjoy yourself, everybody, and we'll be back with you soon. So long.